Have you ever felt that pressure? The pressure to be a strong leader, the one who has all the answers, who's always charismatic, who just powers through everything. Well, what if I told you that that whole idea of leadership is, well, it's fading away? And what's coming next is something a lot quieter, a lot gentler, and honestly, maybe a whole lot more powerful.
Go on. Take a second. When you hear leader, who do you picture? I'm willing to bet it's someone with a big personality, right? Super decisive, maybe a little intimidating, kind of commanding the room from the front. It's the image we've all been taught to look up to.
But here's the thing. That whole archetype, the big, powerful, charismatic leader, it's not the future. The ideas we're going to talk about today suggest it's pretty much a relic of the past. Our world is changing in some really deep, fundamental ways, and that means our definition of what a leader is has to change too.
So the main idea here is that we're not just going through a bit of a change, we're at a massive turning point. The old ways we used to organize ourselves, at work, in our communities, they're starting to dissolve, and something totally new is starting to emerge from it. And right at the very heart of this huge shift is a move away from the pyramid. That classic top-down hierarchical structure we all know. We're moving away from that and toward the circle, a model that's way more collaborative and interconnected. And this isn't just a minor adjustment, it's a total reimagining of how power and influence actually work. Okay, so what does this big shift from the pyramid to the circle actually look like in real life? It really comes down to a deep change in our collective energy and in what we value. You can see the two models right here, side by side. The old pyramid, it's built on what the source material calls masculine energy. And just to be super clear, this has nothing to do with gender. It's just a way of operating, one that's all about competition and command and control from the top. But the new circle, that's powered by feminine energy. Again, not about gender, but about a mode that really values harmony, collaboration, and nurturing the whole group from the center. The goal isn't winning anymore. It's about making sure everyone can thrive together. And this brings us to a really beautiful way to think about this new kind of leader, the gardener. I mean, think about it, right? A gardener doesn't stand over a seed and yell at it to grow faster. They don't command a flower to bloom. No, they create the right conditions. They tend to the soil, they provide water and sunlight, and then they trust the process. Their whole job is just to facilitate that growth and then step back and let everything blossom on its own. Now, this is where it gets really interesting and maybe a bit backwards from what you'd expect. For basically all of history, leaders were taught they had to hide any sign of weakness. But in this new model, being vulnerable, well, that actually becomes your greatest strength. So why the big change? Well, look around. We're now in an age where AI can give us flawless data and perfect answers in a split second. We don't need our human leaders to be perfect calculating machines. What we desperately need from each other now is connection. It's empathy. It's authenticity. And you know what? Real, genuine connection is built on our shared imperfections. Can you just imagine a leader saying this to you? There are things I don't know. That's why I need your help. That's not a sign of weakness. It's a total sign of strength. It's an invitation. It shows that they trust you, they respect you. It says, I value what you bring to the table, and we are in this together. It's such a powerful switch from follow my orders to let's figure this out as a team. And what happens when a leader is that honest? You end up attracting these amazing, self-reliant partners who actually want to contribute, not just clock in and follow orders. They're motivated because they genuinely want to see the whole group succeed. It's just a great reminder that you absolutely do not have to pretend to be perfect to be a great leader. Okay, I know what some of you might be thinking right about now. This is all cool, but I'm not a CEO. I'm not a manager. Well, this next part is especially for you, because this new kind of leadership has absolutely nothing to do with your job title. That's right. Every single time you bring a little bit of peace or understanding into a situation, you're leading. When you really listen to someone without judging, or even just offer a warm smile to a stranger, you are literally changing the energy of the space around you. This is what's called being a light leader, someone who guides with their presence, not with their power. And here is a super simple way to put this into practice like today. The next time you're about to interact with someone, whether it's at work or at home, just pause for a second. Before you jump into asking for something or giving a direction, connect with them first. Just ask, how are you? And then actually listen to the answer. That one tiny shift from directing to listening, it can change everything. So to wrap all of this up, let's look at one final really powerful metaphor. We're so often told to be like the sun, be bright, be powerful, be the center of attention. But maybe that's not what the world actually needs from us right now.
The sun is incredible, but its energy can be scorching. It demands that you look at it. The moon, on the other hand, it's different. It doesn't create its own light, it just reflects. It gently illuminates the darkness so you can see the path, but it doesn't blind you. It's this calm, quiet, protective energy that guides without ever being overwhelming.
And this, I think, is the most freeing message of all. You can let go of that heavy, heavy burden of trying to be strong all the time. You really don't have to have the loudest voice in the room to make a difference. Sometimes just your quiet presence is more than enough. Your empathy, that's your real strength. And that's really the heart of Moon leadership. It's about a quiet, steady presence, a gentle, accepting vibe that makes other people feel safe and seen and valued. It's a leadership that's more about being than it is about doing.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Where in your life, with your family, your coworkers, your friends, can you maybe be a little less like the blazing sun and a little more like the gentle guiding moon? How can your quiet presence become your greatest superpower?